What's up, everybody? We're back at it. Week 11. Super excited to be here, especially after week 10. I'm Matt with Beard Laws, and who is this beautiful, amazing man to my side?
Well, I'm Brandon J. McDermott, and you can find me all over social media. I run the gamut at Brandon J. McDermott.
There we go. So make sure you guys check us out if you want. But either way, let's get excited for week 11. Week 10, it was a little bit, here or there. Week 9, terrible. Week 10, a little bit better. Week 11, I got a good feeling about it. What about you, man?
I think that it's just a reminder, Matt. I agree that this is the game we love. I like college football. I watch college football. It's a little more predictable. In the NFL, it's not. And what's great about that is you'll have an upset one week, and then the next week that team is playing just as crappy as they did 2 weeks before. So it's just a coin flip whether or not it's going to be a game that is going to surprise you or it's going to be something you knew was going to happen.
Week 9 and 10, they got us thinking. But I feel confident about 11. You ready to get into it?
Let's roll.
First game, Thursday night, New England against Atlanta. New England opens on the road as a 6.5-point favorite. And I think people finally forgot about the Super Bowl the Falcons blew. Well, until this game happens.
It's a quintessential reminder to watch the trend lines and not the headlines. The Pats are coming off a huge blowout victory. The Falcons are coming off a big-time blowout loss. Though I think the Patriots are finally finding themselves. They're 4-0 over the last 4 games. All are wins, by the way, and I expect that to continue in Atlanta.
New England is playing very well. Their defense looks good. Their offense is looking good. Mac Jones, Belichick, man, they look good, which is scary for the NFL. Atlanta, they're just unpredictable. At least Matt Ryan doesn't have to go against Tom Brady, but I still like New England with the 6.5. I think they're going to win, and I think they'll win fairly easily, but maybe Matt Ryan gets the boys fired up and say, let's do it for the Super Bowl that we blew. Let's get into Sunday fun day. First game we're going to talk about is the Indianapolis Colts, who travel to the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are at home with a 7-point favorite currently.
This is on the road for the Colts. Obviously, it's in Buffalo, and the Bills have not really impressed me this year. The Colts, they kind of feel like the team that is overachieving based on overall talent, even though last week's close win came against the Jaguars and kind of spit in that the face of that idea. But I'm still taking the Colts to win here, straight up.
The Colts are 4-0 against the spread in their last 4, and like you said, they beat the Jags, something the Bills, for whatever reason, couldn't. They just beat up the Jets. I'm going to go with the numbers. I'm going to go with the trend here. Colts 4-0 against the spread in their last 4. I like them to keep this somewhat close and go 5-0 in their last 5 against the spread. Let's talk about Baltimore versus Chicago. Baltimore is currently a 6-point favorite on the road.
And the Bears, they're like that team that you like to root for. They got talent and they play gritty. The Ravens, on the other hand, they're the team you hate to play. They have more talent, they're more talented, and they play even grittier. In Chicago, I'm taking the Ravens to cover, even though the Bears are coming off a bye week and have plenty of time to prepare for this one.
The Ravens, they get a little bit extra time having that Thursday night debacle against the Dolphins, so both fairly rested for NFL rest. Baltimore's 1-6 in their last 7 games as the favorite, and check this out, they're 0-4 against the spread versus teams with losing records. Again, I'm going to go with the numbers here, not just to disagree with you, Brandon, but I like the Bears to keep this somewhat close. The Ravens, they haven't been good against the bad teams. I think it's going to happen again. I like the Bears with the points. Let's talk about Detroit versus Cleveland. All right. Detroit is traveling to a beat up Cleveland team, and Cleveland 10-point favorite at home.
Cleveland's beat up. When's the last time the Detroit Lions haven't been beat up? I mean, just as a franchise, talk about an apathetic fan base. Look, I picked the Lions to win last week, and I would have been right too if it wouldn't have been for the Lions themselves. They probably would have won. I got some funny comments on picking that one, and even though I was wrong because they tied, they didn't win. Nobody expected a 16-16 tie against the Steelers. Obviously, they tied the Steelers, and the Browns got walloped against the Patriots. I feel like the Lions do play better when they're not at home. There's no pressure to win. There's no reminder of the apathetic fan base. Nothing to lose.
Do the Lions even know what the W word is? It seems like it's been so long and they're just so bad, but check this out. They're 5-4 against the spread this year. The Browns, like we mentioned, they're beat up, and the Lions have been keeping it close. I'm gonna go with the Lions plus 10. That's a lot of points. And like I said, you saw what they did to the division rivals Steelers. Well, the Steelers were at home, so I'm gonna go with Detroit.
So I'm taking the Lions there again. And you know what? Call me crazy, but I think they're actually going to win this one.
Wow. All right. If they do, you heard it here first. Let's talk about this next game. We got Houston versus Tennessee. Tennessee, they've been playing fairly well. They probably have some of the most stars on the IR of anybody, and they're still a 10-point favorite at home.
You said it. You talked about Cleveland being the team that's beat up. The Titans, they're about as beat up as it gets. Julio Jones is on the IR. Derrick Henry is on the IR, out for the year. And yet Tennessee, guess what? They're on top of the division. Meanwhile, Tyrod Taylor, haven't heard that name in about 12 years when he was starring at Virginia Tech. He's starting for the Texans. I don't like this one. I usually would steer clear of this one, but I'm taking the Titans to cover at home.
This is a tough one because you got a quarterback who early in the year when they were playing well with Tyrod, he looks good, but he's so injury prone. I don't know. Tennessee, though, 5-1 against the spread. They have some great players still in their lineup. Houston is 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 road games. I'm going to go with the numbers again because apparently that's what I'm going to do the entire show. So I like Tennessee with you, Brandon. We're going to agree on that one. It's Green Bay versus Minnesota. Green Bay played fairly well. Their defense the last couple of games, very impressive. They're traveling to Minnesota and they are a 2.5-point road favorite.
The Vikings, the Packers, big-time division rivalry, and some of the best games I've seen rivalry-wise over the past 25 years has been between the Packers and the Vikings. In Minnesota, the Vikings are 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 home games. That's not good. The Packers are 9-1 against the spread this year, and Aaron Rodgers, guess what? He is still good. I'm taking the Pack to win and to cover.
They have the NFL best against the spread. Minnesota has one of the worst in their last 8 games against the spread. That's good enough for me, and they still have Aaron Rodgers. I'm going Green Bay. I like it. I like it a lot. Miami versus the Jets. I'm pretty sure nobody cares about this one, but we're going to talk about it just for anybody that's looking for a free NFL pick and prediction. Miami is a 3-point favorite on the road versus the New York Jets.
Uh-oh. We're going to keep this one short and simple. The Dolphins are terrible, and the Jets, they're even worse. Stay away from this one. But if you do have to go with this one, go with your gut. Follow your heart. I am going to take the Dolphins to squeak out and to cover here.
I'd probably stay clear of this, but hey, if you want to, you're feeling a little adventurous. Miami's 1-5 against the spread in their last 6, so let's go with it. Jets, Jets, and I think the S is for stinks. We don't know who's going to be in quarterback, but either way, I like them. I'm going to go with it. Close game. Let's hope it's close game. They're getting some points. Now let's talk about a decent game. You got the New Orleans Saints traveling to Philadelphia. They're going to run up the steps like Rocky does. This open as a pick'em. It's currently at 1.5 with the Eagles as a home favorite.
I'm not as impressed with that Eagles win against Denver, being a Broncos fan and watching that game intently, because I think those Broncos have already given up on their head coach, Vic Fangio. It will be interesting to see if Alvin Kamara plays in this game. That will have a big impact on this line. The Saints are also 4-0 in their last 4 games following a straight-up loss, and I see them winning in the city of brotherly love here.
The Eagles are 1-5 in their last 6 games as home favorites. So again, let's go with the numbers. We got a 4-0, we got a 1-5. Let's go with the 4-0. I like the Saints here, plus 1.5 currently. Interested to see if this line does move, either way into somebody's favorite here. The Washington football team traveling to Carolina, where the weather's probably nice. They're 3.5-point favorites at home.
I was not as impressed with Washington last week as I was disappointed in the Bucs. So I'm not on that Washington football team hype train just yet. I am, however, happy for Cam Newton and glad the Panthers have found themselves seemingly, and I'm taking them to cover at home.
Tampa Bay is pretty good, but like you said, it's kind of that short-term mentality. I'm not buying for it. Plus, Washington, they are 1-5 against the spread as an underdog in their last 6. Carolina, though, they're 1-6 against the spread over their last 7. So if we're going with the numbers, it's an even pick. We should flip a coin. I'm going Washington just because you went Carolina, but this is, in my opinion, and I think Brandon would agree with me, probably a game you don't want to touch. Let's talk about this next one. It's San Francisco 49ers traveling to lovely Florida to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and San Francisco is a 6-point favorite on the road currently.
The Jaguars aren't a terrible team. Everybody expected them to be, and they said all year long that they're just awful, and head coach Urban Meyer was going to be out of there by the end of the year. They haven't given up on Urban just yet. They kept it close with Buffalo, and I'm actually taking the Jags to surprise here at home. I think they're going to get a 3rd win on this season.
So Jacksonville is 4-5 against the spread in their last 5 games against teams with losing records. The Jaguars have been able to keep them pretty close, though. They're 4-1 against the spread. Just because of that, Jacksonville, they're playing well. They're getting points. They're at home. I think that's a winning combination. Let's go with Jacksonville here, +6. Cincinnati is traveling to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. This is pretty much a pick'em game. Currently, Cincy is a 1-point road favorite.
The Raiders were embarrassed in a game against their rival Chiefs. Cincinnati had a bye week. Derek Carr just isn't as talented as he used to be, or he's just not consistent. Maybe the talent is there, but the consistency isn't. Whatever it is, something just isn't right with those Raiders. The Bengals lost 2 straight before last week, but I'm looking for them to recover here and to win.
Both of the teams, they're 4-5 against the spread this season. Raiders, they're 2-5 against the spread over their last 7, but the Bengals are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. That's good enough for me. I'm going to go Cincy here. I like Cincy, but I'm interested. I bet you this line does move a little bit. I'm just not sure in whose favor, so just keep an eye on it. But yeah, I like Cincy here, especially. This next game, this could be the game of the week. This game is super intriguing. You have Dallas traveling to take on Kansas City in a very tough atmosphere to play. Kansas City is a 2.5-point home favorite.
I was surprised by that line, to be honest with you. Look, it's at home. You get 3 points, basically. The Chiefs are the reigning Super Bowl champions. They're a very talented team. They played great last week. But these Cowboys, man, they're something else. And as you said, if you're looking for one game to watch this week, one single game on the whole slate of NFL games, this is the one to schedule and not to miss. The Chiefs are favorites here, and they came back big last week against Las Vegas. Gosh, it's so weird calling the Raiders Las Vegas.
I don't like
playing, but they played sloppily all year, but they finally had a win last week that I think could get them kickstarted into a playoff run. We'll see. This could be a Super Bowl matchup preview. Who knows? But I really like how Dallas responded last week, and I expect them to win here in a tough game against a very below average defense in Kansas City.
The Cowboys are one of the better teams against the spread. They're 8-1 against the spread this year, while the Chiefs are only 3-7. Just because of that, this is the trend for this episode. I'm following the numbers. I'm going with the Cowboys on the road. Even if they don't win, they just have to keep it close. +3. Arizona Cardinals traveling to Seattle, take on the Seahawks. The Arizona Cardinals are a 3-point favorite on the road.
Yeah, you're talking about a game you want to steer clear of. This is probably one of them for many reasons. Before touching this game, I would want to wait to hear on word about Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. Both of them could play. Maybe both of them don't play. And if they don't play, probably going to still take the Cardinals. I do like the Cardinals here regardless. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks were shut out by the Packers. I'm taking the Cardinals by a field goal without DeAndre and Kyler. And if they're playing, I'm taking them by 2 touchdowns.
Arizona, 7-3 against the spread, tied for the 3rd best in the NFL. Seattle's 5-4 against the spread. Both are money. I like Arizona here solely based on it. I think Seattle's just not as good as they have been in the past. They didn't look good last week. Can they recover? Maybe. Are they at home? Yeah, but I like Arizona here with only 3.
Last week, I said Colt McCoy was going to take those Cardinals and he was going to lead them to another victory. And I was wrong, I must admit to you. And I was wrong about Colt McCoy. Lots of people have been wrong about Colt McCoy. I joined a long list of general managers and head coaches. Onward and upward.
A Sunday night primetime game. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are currently a 4.5-point favorite at home.
And so I must ask you, Matt, do Steelers fans even feel feelings anymore after last week?
No. But knowing and being a Steelers fan, and we even talked about it last week, I knew this was coming. It was terrible.
There is something so unsatisfying about watching an NFL game that ends in a tie. It shouldn't end that way. And look, for safety reasons, I get it. 70 minutes is a long time to play football. I believe it's 10 minutes now in the extra quarter. We need to find a better way to finish the game. Ties shouldn't happen in pro football. Ties should not happen. This isn't soccer. Anyway, tough tie last week for Detroit and the Steelers. The Steelers became the butts of all the mean jokes this week. The Detroit fans are used to it. They know they're the butts of the jokes. The Steelers, they had to dip their toe in that pool. They weren't very happy. The Chargers, however, also lost at home against Minnesota, but I like the Chargers here to win at home and to get the ball rolling.
Steelers are one of the worst teams against the spread this year. They are 3-6. The Chargers, though, they're 4-1 against the spread following a loss. I'm going to go with the Chargers. 4.5 points. I think it's going to move again, especially if more COVID-19 protocols go into effect for Pittsburgh. Yeah, I like the Chargers here. Let's talk Monday night. You got the New York Giants taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs, 10.5-point favorite coming off that loss.
The Giants and the Bucs. I either don't want to be the Giants this week facing Tom Brady after a loss, or I'm licking my chops in this game. A matchup with Tampa Bay, a struggling team to get it going. This is a much closer game than many expect. It's going to be, I believe. I'm taking the Giants and the points here.
Tampa has only been able to cover 33% of their games against the spread this year. The Giants are 5-4 against the spread this year. Tampa Bay is 8-1 against the spread in their last 8 home games and 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games as a home favorite. I think they're going to win big. The Giants still stink.
Props to Matt for going with the stats and history on this one. I, however, going with a gut feeling. I don't know what it is. I was taking Detroit last week and was almost right there. A clock can be right twice a day if it's broken, even if it is broken. So we'll see.
Let's talk about what every person watching this really wants to know. They want to know the locks of the week. What are a couple of games that we think, without a doubt, are going to hit and is just straight money?
I got 4 locks.
Oh, he's got
4 locks. Okay. I'm taking the Ravens over the Bears. I'm taking the Lions. That's a lock over the Browns. And I'm taking the Packers over the Vikings. That 4th one, I think the Broncos are going to squeak by the bye week this week. I think they got it. We'll see, but that's a lock.
The Broncos will not lose this week. I like that one too. All right, I'm going to throw that in as my 4th pick. I like Green Bay -2.5. I like Baltimore -6. And I like the Chargers -4.5. Did we agree on pretty much all of them? We're going to go with our unanimous. I mean, we had a couple unanimous. There's only the 2 of us, but our super lock of the week is going to be Green Bay -2.5. Thank you guys very much for watching this. Let us know in the comments how you did last week and let us know what your lock of the week is. I'm super intrigued to hear that. And again, I'm Matt with Beard Laws. You can find me on all of the social medias.
And you can find me all over social media at Brandon J. McDermott.
Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you back here. Same time, same place next week.